Hi, it's Karen with Living Our Dream Homestead, where today I'll be making a Texas-style lasagna. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please click the button down below. Well, let's go ahead and get started. First thing we need to do is turn on our oven to 350 degrees. We are going to be using a 13 by 9-inch baking dish, and we need to go ahead and grease it. I'm actually just using olive oil, and I will go ahead and spray my pan. And now we are going to go ahead and be on the stovetop, so let's go. First thing we need to do is we need to get a large skillet, and in it I have 1.5 pounds of ground beef. I've got my heat on medium heat, and we are going to cook this beef until it's no longer pink. But I am going to try to break it up a little bit more because it's kind of more in chunks, and I don't want it like that. So I actually got this at the Dollar Tree. I don't know what you would call it. I call it my breaker upper, to get the meat more, finer. So I'll go ahead and work on this. Now that the beef is all browned, we need to go ahead and drain the fat. Now that the fat is all drained, we are going to go ahead and add taco seasoning. Now, if you have a packet, you can do that, but I'm actually going to go ahead and add it by scratch. So I'm adding in 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of ground up or crushed red pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper, which I have right here in my bowl. And we'll go ahead and stir those spices into our meat. And now we're going to take 1 can of diced tomatoes. That would be about a 14.5 ounce container. It will be undrained. So I'm going to go ahead and use, this is just what I had canned myself. And then we're going to take 1 can of tomato sauce, about 15 ounces. I'm using the True Goodness brand. And then we're going to need 1 can of mild, well, it doesn't have to be mild. My husband needs the mild, so I got the mild. But 1 can of green chilies, they're diced up. If they're not diced up, then you need to go ahead and chop them. Now I'll go ahead and mix this all together into our ground beef. And again, we have our heat on medium heat. Forgot to mention the green chilies was a 4-ounce can. Now that it's boiling, we need to go ahead and reduce our heat. I'm just going to do between low and medium. And now we're going to go ahead and let this simmer uncovered for 15 to 20 minutes. Just stir occasionally. Now that it's been 15 minutes, we need to go ahead and turn off the heat and remove our skillet from the burner. First thing we need to do is we need to take a small bowl, and in it I already have 2 large eggs that I have lightly beaten with a fork. We are going to go ahead and add in 2 cups of cottage cheese. I'm actually using the Daisy brand cottage cheese. You don't have to use Daisy. And I'm going to go ahead and add that in now. And I'm going to go ahead and try to get the rest out, and I'm going to go ahead and mix this up into our beaten eggs. Now we're ready to go ahead and put this Texas-style lasagna together. So the first thing we need to do is we need to take that cooked meat that we have, we need to take half of it, and we need to put it down here on our greased baking dish. This is what I'm talking about. how it should look. Now we are going to go ahead and take 6 corn tortillas. This is the brand that I'm actually using. And I've got them right here on a plate. And I'm going to go ahead and take these. It talks about tearing them. So I'm going to take the 6 tortillas and tear them up, and then I'm going to put them over this top meat mixture. Now, I ended up tearing mine about 4 times. Again, it's whatever you would like to do. And now we are going to go ahead and take half of this cottage cheese mixture and put it over top our tortillas. Now, I just kind of used the back of my spoon and kind of spread it over the tortillas. And now we're going to take half of this cheese. This is Colby Monterey Jack cheese that I shredded. It's a total of 3.5 cups. So we're just going to go ahead and put half of it over top of this cottage cheese. Kind of like this. Now we're going to go ahead and get our meat mixture again and put the rest of that on top of the cheese. Now that I got the meat mixture on top of the cheese, we are going to take the remaining 6 tortillas and rip them up and put them on top of the meat. And now we got those tortillas on top of our meat, and we are going to go ahead and take that last of that cottage cheese mixture and put it on top. And now we need to put that remaining Monterey Jack cheese on top of the cottage cheese. The Texas-style lasagna is ready to go in the oven. It needs to be baked at 350 degrees uncovered for 30 minutes. Then I will show you when it's done. The Texas-style lasagna is all done. We need to go ahead and let it sit about 10 minutes before serving. Let's go ahead and see if my husband likes it.
Like Tex-Mex, I like it.
Well, I found the recipe for the Texas-style lasagna in the 25th anniversary of Taste of Home Favorites cookbook. Now, I will have the recipe down in the description and what I changed. In the recipe, it actually called for seasoned salt, which is usually just salt and like garlic powder, but my homemade taco seasoning already had that. So I didn't put that in there because I thought that would just be too much salt. Well, if you like this video, please hit the like button down below. This was Karen with Living Our Dream Homestead. I hope you have a good day.